He played the whole thing through.
He was teaching me.
But you don't look right.
Well, because I haven't been to a game. You have to put me on.
No. It's not even been to a game. You have to be invested. If you're not invested, you just won't look right.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm not invested.
But you know when
it's a certain way.
Because you see, it's more the risk for you. It's the risk.
Why don't you have Dodgers gear on today?
Because I figured USC, we play Notre Dame tomorrow.
Because he took his clothes out in the first inning.
You must have set that up as a joke. It didn't work. Baseball is 9 innings. Yeah, we won. Dodgers won. So I figured we got a day off, travel, whole deal, and we might as well get ready for USC tomorrow.
I mean,
I'm already tailgating for Notre Dame.
The Dodgers,
Water.
the bottom line is it doesn't matter how you get to, like, after 5 games, every series ever played is 3-2, one way or another. Here they are again. The Dodgers, here they are again.
Yo, how many home runs did we hit last night? 5? I think we had 5 jacks last night. It's crazy, though. And I couldn't believe it, though. It was one of those deals where we bombed them like they did us the other night. So it was a good game. Now we move on. We're down 3-2. We got a lot of hope.
Chris Taylor won't stop hitting home runs.
Chris Taylor had 3 jacks last night. And I think he had 5 RBIs total. 6. Well, it went up 6. Thank you, Evan, for correcting my statistical membrane.
That bat, man. If he hit a shot in that last.
But something told me he was going to hit the 3rd one. Something told me.
Something internally told you?
No, you could just tell. And if he'd have did 4, he'd have broke the playoff record. No other Major League Baseball players ever hit 4 home runs.
He'd have tied the all-time record for any game. No one's ever hit more than 4.
Yeah, he'd have tied it, but I'm more so toward the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was a situation in terms of pitching. Joe Kelly, he had to leave the game after 2 batters because I guess he had a little stiffness somewhere in his arm or something like that. But we managed to win.
By the way, you had 3 games where you were watching.
I had 3 games
you had
going.
3 games going.
I had the Hawks going. I had the Hawks going first, and then Golden State came on after, and then obviously the football game, and then the Dodgers.
Well, speaking of the football game, Case Keenum was leading the Browns to a win on Thursday Night Football as the Dodgers were coming back in that series. This is Jay. I love when Key does this. Like, there'll be a quarterback who's going to play, and he doesn't think they're going to have a crazy great game, but he'll start to do this thing with this. He'll have 199 yards, a touchdown, no pit. That's what 199 yards and a touchdown.
That's all you need. Be serviceable.
Like I said, he'll be a 21, 28 guy, a 210, a touchdown, and maybe some weird turnover that wasn't his fault.
It's exactly right.
Because that's the type of quarterback he is. That's the type of quarterback. You can win like that if everybody else comes to the party.
Well, they win 17-14 without Baker Mayfield, without their 2 starting backs, but they did have a running back do his thing last night. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach, of course, at the post-game presser.
Case fought like he always does. I thought he orchestrated the operation. He took care of the football. And then that was a huge play at the end there, or not at the end, but in the end zone there on 4th down, and, just to make a play, fighting for extra yardage. But he did a great job fighting.
Can the Browns win a Super Bowl with Case Keenum?
If the defense and they get their – put it this way. They ain't winning the Super Bowl with that they beat Denver with.
Yeah.
That's not going to win you a Super Bowl. But if you get Hunt and Chubb and a healthy OBJ, you can tell OBJ was hampered a little bit last night, dropped some easy balls that I'm sure he's frustrated about.
Conklin, like you want to get your line back together.
Line back together, Landry, Clowney in the game, come to the party. Of course you could win a Super Bowl with Case Keenum because you're not really Baker and Case Keenum are so closest to what they could do for this system in Kevin Stefanski. It's kind of the same thing if everything is added up together. And Case Keenum, because he's really trying to prove a point, he'll stick his neck out there and go for the extra yard, put himself in harm's way. That's the type of quarterback, what they call it, gutsy. He's a gutsy performer.
I don't believe they can win a Super Bowl with Case Keenum. I think that we're starting to undermine the value of the toughness mentally. And I know that there are some questions around Baker Mayfield and OBJ and that chemistry and some of the passes have been off. But there is a bravado that Baker brings to the field. And I know Case Keenum is serviceable. I know they got a win last night. First off, big shout out to D. Ernest Johnson, who before he signed with the Browns was a fisherman in Florida. I mean, for 22 carries, 146 yards last night and 1 TD. Because he had a hell of a performance. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, but why
he saved the game.
But why you just tell me he had to be a fisherman prior to that? Because I was getting ready to crack a joke about his name, and you messed it all up.
Another Johnson who was...
No, just the name. D. Ernest, like D. Ernest. Which one? Like we can mess up some names, man. I'm just telling you. D. Ernest.
Max, don't comment on that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you'll get yourself.
Yes, you'll get yourself in trouble. We don't want you to get canceled.
I just say if you change the D to B, it'd be
Max.
Max, stop.
No, everything doesn't need to be commented on. This one does not. Leave it to me and Jay.
It's a different joke.
But I think
it's a different joke.
I think they can, though, Jay. I think they can win a championship. And nobody's undermining the toughness of Baker Mayfield. They can win a championship with Baker Mayfield. I said it many times over. If you have everybody that the Browns entered the season with on the roster, you can win with a Case Keenum or a Baker Mayfield because they're going to do just enough and hopefully not enough to screw it up.
So you think the odds are the same with a full healthy roster, Case Keenum team as opposed to a Baker Mayfield team? That's what you're trying to tell me.
You gamble, right?
Yes.
So when the line moves, that means something drastic happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know the line did not move.
Or more bettors are betting on the game.
The line never moved. When they knew Baker Mayfield was out and Case Keenum was in, nothing changed.
Yeah, this is, I mean, look.
I'm not a gambler, but
that's a valid point.
I heard Joe Fartenbaum on with us, and he said nothing moved.
What we find in recent Super Bowl history, last 5-6 years, whatever, special quarterbacks win. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Now, Nick Foles can pop his head out once in a while. Eli Manning could get hot, right, and do it, 2011. You can have that kind of quarterback, but he's got to be solid and then real good when you need him to be. Big on third down, big on I think that Baker Mayfield is better than Case Keenum.
Yes.
Normally.
Yes.
But I would put them in the same basket of quarterback. I wouldn't say it's a different kind of quarterback. Baker's just an issue of degrees. He's a degree or two better than Case Keenum, but the same level.
Man,
are you just talking about physically?
They do the same thing, man.
Physically? See, because I think you guys undermine the psychological aspect. Baker's tough as hell, man.
Well, this is why we're asking about Case Keenum.
That's fine, but tough as hell ain't gonna win no Super Bowl for you.
But tough as hell goes a long way when you mentally have to jump over hurdles and battle through games.
Look, Stefanski's won as many playoff games with Keenum as he has with Baker. Before we get to any of that, let me just say why we're talking about Case Keenum, because I've neglected to mention this. It may be a minute before Baker comes back because he told Fox Sports he suffered a tuberosity fracture in his left shoulder in addition to the torn labrum. So it's the non-throwing shoulder, but it's preventing his rotator cuff from firing. Now, this is the quote. "I need that fracture to heal for me to get back out there." Fractures don't normally heal in a week. He needs the fracture to heal to get back out there.
I don't even know what that injury is. I've never heard of it before, but it sounds painful. And if he's not able to go, then it's going to be painful. Look, Case Keenum didn't do enough to win the starting job at Baker Mayfield. It was healthy. It didn't. But he did enough for me to feel like he can hold things together like a Band-Aid into such time that Baker Mayfield gets healthy.
But there's another aspect to this, which is he didn't do enough to win the job, but he held it down and they got the win. Mm-hmm. Now they have a nice long break before the next game.
Yeah.
The offensive line should get back. Some guys should get healthy. He's going to have at least another shot at this thing, Case Keenum. Maybe more.
It sounds that way based on the injury, but I don't know. Again, I'm not a licensed physician, so
licensed
physician, so I really don't know what the extent of the injury is, right? We assume, based on Baker's report, that it's really bad for him and he's going to miss a few weeks. We don't know that, but it just feels that way.
Yeah, if he fractures. If he can't get back on the field till a fracture heals, it's going to be a minute. You would think. Week 7's underway in the NFL. We're asking at Key, J, and Max, who will pull off the biggest upset in Week 7? Be a part of KJM Nation on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed or call in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. College football's back, so are the fans. Return to glory with Fansville by Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride down Broad. That's next. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and SiriusXM Channel 80.